you know that my way is not to focus on weight loss.
Correct.
I focus on health and how the person is feeling
Yes,
and looking.
yes. This week on Garry Talks, I'm joined by Smaranda Maier of Authentic Health and host of the podcast When You Choose You. We dive into my personal healthcare journey over the past year. We explore the growing use of Ozempic, its benefits, risks, and the misconceptions. And we talk about why real lasting change only happens when you experience what Smaranda calls the click. If you're curious about health, habit change, or finding a sustainable path forward, this episode is a must. Once you start getting in the right food, you're full, and then you notice actually your grocery bill isn't as expensive.
Exactly.
And then you start feeling better. And that's why I call it a journey. It's all these realizations and discoveries.
My mission is to teach people how to choose themselves. And when you choose you, there is no other way. It's a law of the universe.
This is a GK Media podcast. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Garry Talks. Before we dive in, a massive thank you for tuning in. Last year, Garry Talks hit #1 in Apple Podcasts entrepreneurship category here in Ireland. And we even reached #3 in business. That's all thanks to you, our incredible listeners. This year, we'd love to go one step further and take that #1 business spot. So, if you can support the show in any way, we'd really appreciate it. Whether it's sharing this episode, leaving a review, or just telling a friend, every little bit helps. Each episode costs around €1,000 to produce, and we've now released over 100 shows, all in the hope that these conversations deliver something valuable for you to invest back into yourself. So follow us on social media, drop us a message, and don't hesitate to reach out if you'd like to support the show further. Thanks again for listening, and I hope you enjoy today's episode of Garry Talks.
This podcast is part of the GK Media Studios Creators Network, helping people tell their stories. Become a storyteller today and learn about our podcaster network at gkmediastudios.com.
Smaranda Maier, thank you so much for joining me on Garry Talks.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The last episode and the first episode we did together was episode 95 of Garry Talks. Holistic Health, Miscarriage and Empowerment, that went out July 2024. So much has happened since.
Exactly. So it sounds like it's so close to date, but it's so much going on in between July, and it seems like, oh God, when was that?
So I want to talk today about my journey. I want to focus a bit on weight loss. I want to talk as well about your journey and the big things that you have planned for 2025. But I suppose if people have listened back to Garry Talks over the last couple of years, they might realize that I've had this ongoing journey in terms of trying to get fit and healthy. And I reached out to you after, I'd say just maybe before Christmas of last year, because I
would say November, I think.
November.
Yeah.
I'd hit a wall and nothing was working for me. And I got a little bit of confidence to just try and reach out. And I was then listening to your podcast as well. And I was getting so much hope and belief from the guest that you had on. And we'll talk about your podcast shortly, that I wanted to go on this journey with you. And I think that's the best way I can describe it in terms of, it wasn't a case of going on a diet or anything like that. It was going on a journey. And I discovered and learned so much about myself rather than just solely about what I was eating, putting in my mouth as such.
Yes.
So from your perspective, can you tell people the basket case of Garry Kelly that came across your desk and how you kind of approached in guiding me?
Yes, and I want to start with thanking you that you put your trust in working and sharing your struggles, really. It's not easy. I think that's the hardest moment, when people feel that they are not doing well and they're not going where they want to be, but it's the struggle of, do I ask for help? Is going to work for me? It's just another thing. So well done. And I think I would start with, yes, you were frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the moment when people are blaming what is not working. And I think they're focusing so much on what is not working. And that's a very general view. So when you want to change something, if you focus on your current reality, is the worst thing you can do. So as I said to you, try to embrace or step into the reality of the new you, where you want to go.
Yeah.
And usually that's the click. Now, it's not something what happens instantly, because we are so not used to that. We are so in what we are, and that's how our brain works, so very much in the familiar. But I think because it's so painful where you are, you want to get in a different way. Can you get that on your own? I am a firm believer that you can't. I am doing myself. I am trying myself. If someone can do accountability, self-accountability, it's me. I totally get that. I get it. But it's not that. It's the energy. It's having someone there to hold that container, because you are growing. You are expanding your energy. You are expanding your consciousness. If you don't have someone to hold that container for you, you are going to fail. And it's not your fault. It's the way, like I feel that in my body, even now talking, that's what makes a difference. And find it the right person.
There was a thing you said there, the click. And I remember I remember the moment I had the click. And I'll talk about that shortly. But just in terms of my frustration, like I had come to you very frustrated. So I was back in, we'll say 15 years ago, I was at a certain weight, and I thought then that I was overweight. And for the last number of years, I've been trying to just even get back to that weight because it just kept going up and up and up. And I was getting frustrated because I'm getting older. My metabolism is slowing down. I thought I was eating the right foods. I was still having this conversation in the back of my head of, oh yeah, but you deserve to enjoy life, and you deserve to sit down and have a bottle of wine at the weekend and all that. And I'd have periods where it was good, and then once the scales had gone up or hadn't moved that week, I self-sabotage, and I'd sort my emotions through eating the wrong foods, and then I'd get motivation to be good again and go exercise and eat healthy, and then after a few weeks I'd fall off that. And it was an ongoing love-hate process for years. And I couldn't just see the clarity or really believe that I could make an improvement. And little things started happening. So, I knew what is clean eating, but you were saying to me, Garry, you're starving yourself. So I would go and I would kill myself in the gym for maybe an hour doing cardio and weights, and then I wouldn't eat for like 3 or 4 hours afterwards.
Yeah.
And you were saying you're starving your body now. So you're tricking your brain, and your brain is actually holding on to everything. It just wants to release.
Exactly. So next time when you are eating, the brain is going to preserve. So that's what the brain dictates. Hello, don't consume, because it's not coming for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So preserve first, and then you already had a reserve there, but you didn't give the body to trick the brain to go into the reserve.
Yeah.
To open the pathways towards the reserve. And that's the simple trick, like having a bit of carbs, not too much, just the right amount of carbs.
So you would tell me to maybe have half a banana, on the way to the gym. So I had a bit of energy. The brain knows it's getting some.
10 grams of carbs is what I suggest. That's a banana or a bar of chocolate or half
like
of
a purple snack if you're feeling naughty.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's the brain getting the sugar knowing it's fine.
Okay, so before you start training, and then you open the glucose pathways, and the body knows what to do from there on. To build the mass.
And then afterwards,
within
an hour, trying to have some kind of clean protein. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's very important. So I'm a big believer in the protein, but not all the proteins are equal. So the ones what the body knows that they are the food, not the ultra processed one, are much more effective and much healthier from my point of view.
Yeah.
So I see that, like I'm talking from practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like people can get the protein powders and so on. And the most important thing with anything you're buying is to look at the ingredients. And
Exactly.
the fewer the ingredients, the better. Because, I mean, if you don't know what the ingredients are, that's really when you should just put it back on the shelf again.
Exactly. So if you can't read the ingredients, that's a simple basic thing. If you can't read and understand what exactly is, your brain doesn't know how to translate them, your body can't process them. That's my theory.
And
It's probably anecdotal because I need to start to be very careful with what I'm saying. There is a lot going on at the minute against people who are active on social media in nutrition and all of that. But it's an anecdotal way, okay? So it's nothing what you are going to find in the book. But definitely those complicated names indicates that it's a bioengineered ingredient, which is definitely not going to be assimilated in the same way like it's a piece of meat, organic.
Your body's trying to figure out how to break it down and what to use it for.
Yeah. Or if does the job as protein, the liver and the kidneys will struggle to detox what is not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you overload the body.
Yeah.
And tell me how the whey protein in the bag gets a shelf life of 12 months. Now, if you tell me that that's natural way, I'm going to say, okay, let's argue. Because there is no way that that's not with preservatives. And when we are talking about, we focus on, you know that my way is not to focus on weight loss.
Correct.
I focus on health and how the person is feeling and looking and all that. So if I'm looking for that perspective, I don't gain what I want. I will probably lose muscle. And I will lose weight by losing muscle and all of that. But it's not what I want. What I want is health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even one thing I did is Lewis Farms in County Clare. And you had one of them on as a guest on your podcast, When You Choose You. I started buying my meat. And I understand not everyone eats meat. But I started buying my meat from their organic farm in County Clare. And they freeze it and ship it, and I put it in the freezer, and then I take it out and defrost it in my fridge a couple of days beforehand that I'm going to know that I'm going to cook it and eat it. And like, I notice even a huge difference in eating organic meat compared to just meat you can buy for a couple of euro in a supermarket. And I was full after eating like 2 sausages that they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And you start actually, once you start getting in and I've spoken to Sarah Butler about this as well before, once you start getting in the right food that's natural and organic and clean, you're full. And then you notice actually your grocery bill isn't as expensive.
Exactly.
And then you start feeling better. And it's just, and that's why I call it a journey. It's all these realizations and discoveries and just the knock-on effect it has. But we're just doing the easy stuff at the moment, and it's keeping us in a rush. And it's having the accountability of someone like yourself who can support someone. And like, because I remember you were saying to me, look, if you've any questions, just send me a message. And I was like, I don't want to be messaging you at nighttime. And you're like, I look at my phone when I want to. And we set up a private WhatsApp group so I could just dump photos and questions into it. And you answered it then whenever you had the time to do. But just even having that support and expertise was...
I have to admit, the most successful people are, and you know how much I insisted for you to send me photos.
So I had to, every day for 7 days, take a photograph of every single thing that was going into my mouth.
Yes, with no judgment.
Yeah.
I just needed to know what you are doing in order to tell you, to be able to give you the real feedback, what works for you. But the most successful people are the ones who send me photos. They resist for up to a month.
It's like we're like, we want to be bold for a month, and then when we feel we're ready to be healthy, then we start documenting.
And that's a message in itself. I always say to people, that's like, don't send me photos because I know what's going on. But definitely that's the biggest secret. So that's the secret weapon in my coaching. It's asking people to send photos, because then not that it's not escaping, it becomes an internal motivator an internal watch, like they watch themselves because they know they need to send photos. But before that, even if it's nothing like that, it's just the fact, okay, I need to send photos. At least they have something in their mind, like to motivate them. Yeah.
You were asking me before we started the podcast, how are you getting on? What's your update on things? I said, I'll tell you during the podcast. So I went on the scales this morning. And again, it's not just weight loss that I'm focusing on, but it is an actual statistic that one can measure and compare with.
Yeah, we can talk about that after.
Yeah.
What are my markers, what I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly.
So I went on the scales this morning anyways. And I was over in Berlin last week and I did a little bit of training because there was a gym in the hotel and stuff. So when I was choosing the hotel, I made sure that there was something that I could even just do 20 minutes in, just a bit of weight training or something like that. But I went on the scales this morning and I'm delighted to say that I haven't been at the weight I'm at in 8 years.
Wow! Yeah. Oh my God, that made my... Oh my God, I'm so happy.
This is after I've been in Berlin for a week.
Happy.
But the thing that changed for me was we were sitting in the studio just having a chat after you had done one of your own recordings one day. And I was saying, I don't know it was going so well for me and now I feel like I'm going backwards and da-da-da. And you were saying, I listen the way you speak about yourself. And you asked me the question, do you love yourself? Do you love your body? And I responded straight away with, no, I hate my body. And it was when I heard myself say it, and I could feel the anger like nearly trembling through my teeth. I said, oh my God, like I straight away said that I hate my body. Where is this anger, this mistrust, this lack of appreciation coming from? And you said, and that's what it is.
And that's exactly what it is. And that's the common denominator for every single one of the clients that are coming. It's lack of trust in their body. Because the society, everything what's going on around us tell us to trust everything else outside of us. And we are disconnected from us.
Yeah.
When we established that connection or re-established, because it's the known. What we know that we are born with it. We are humans. So you will see a dog. A dog doesn't know. I give you an example because I have at home. Okay, so she doesn't distrust her body. Like she doesn't she's eating and she knows when to stop, and she knows when she's hungry and she knows when she didn't feel well after a meal and she won't eat and whatever. So we have that. It's an instinct. But we lose it because the messaging and everything what is thrown at us. And that's the main thing. Like, I see that happening on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went through, go on.
The best thing is, once you reach to that point, you are never going back.
No, because I went through this phase then, and this will sound weird for, I suppose, people who haven't done this with themselves, but and you were guiding me in this as well. But I started like I put my hand on my thigh and say, I appreciate the strength you've given me and helped me to be able to walk today. I appreciate my arms, for the strength that they have and that I can carry things and lift things. I appreciate my lungs for allowing me to breathe. I appreciate my liver for detoxifying the toxins in my body. And I just started kind of, my eyes that I can see, things, and just really started telling my body, thank you for the 40 plus years that I've been on this earth, and you are well, and I've put you probably through, things that you didn't deserve to go through in terms of the toxins, or the stresses I've put on the body and so on, and really becoming more in tune and appreciating and being grateful for the health that I have. And that was the click of saying, actually, no, I need to learn to love my body, appreciate my body, take care of my body.
Exactly. Because when you're coming from that perspective, nothing is hard.
No.
You are connected with the right reason. And that gives you the you don't even talk about motivation in that case.
No.
It works.
Yeah, it flows naturally.
Exactly. Because it's effortless.
Yeah.
you are driven by the right thing.
Yeah.
So that's why motivation and the right mindset, when it comes to the body knows.
Yeah.
And when you connect with that part, it's the job is done. You know what to do. I always say to people, that's the easiest part is the meal plan. That's the easiest plan. You learn, it's something what you can adjust and whatever. But the connection to the body is the hardest.
Yeah.
Because there are layers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why coaching is so effective.
Yeah.
I can't even describe what motivates, because people are coming with different motivation. They're coming with different stories. You are coming because you want to lose weight. Someone is coming because the cholesterol is high. Someone else is coming because the digestive issues. All are signs from the body. The body is talking.
Yeah.
The body is talking that it's not happy.
Yeah.
And I see people I had all sorts of clients between 17 and 71, the eldest at the minute. And all the same. I can't say both for the same thing.
No.
Different things. So when the body is talking, is the moment to start paying attention and find the right person to support you.
Yeah.
I always say to people, don't try. I mean, you can try on your own, and definitely, like, it's your right to do it. But think for a second that there is a better way to do it when you have someone beside you.
Yeah. No, the questions you were posing to me were just like you were opening up the blinds. You know, like there was one time you had said, how do you treat yourself? And I'd say, you know, if I've had a busy week, I go home and I'd watch a movie and have a bottle of wine and have maybe a mini picnic and some chocolate. And if I've had a stressful week, maybe I'd have some wine again. So I was giving you various examples, but you were saying, why do you feel that to treat yourself, it has to be something you drink or something you eat? Connect with food,
That's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
And it's not only you, it's every single one of us. It's learned behavior. But close your eyes and see the children, the trajectory as children. We were taught that we are rewarded with something sweet.
Yeah. If the child is crying, give them a sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If they're good, give them a sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like I don't want to compare myself to others in case people are starting the journey, but it's amazing how things quickly start flowing and improving. And something that I loved was there was usually if I was having a couple of drinks at home on a Saturday night, on a Sunday morning, I'm fine, but I might be a little bit sluggish for the first couple of hours. And then what I'd done is I made a deal with myself. I said, okay, from the start of January until my birthday, I'm going to do 100 days sobriety, and there's maybe 14 days or so in between. So they can be days that I might go out and watch the Super Bowl with friends or go away for the weekend or whatever. And they can be my day passes. But I kind of try to stop the weekend alcohol consumption. And I was telling my friends about me trying to lose weight or whatever. And one guy said, okay, well, why don't we go for a walk in my place? And I got up at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, which I probably haven't done ever because I'm not a morning bird anyways. And we ended up going for an 11-kilometer walk as the sun rose, and just felt amazing. Had it all done in about an hour and 40 minutes. Had a cup of coffee then afterwards. Headed home and made the pancakes for the kids, and it was like, wow, I'm loving this new life and this new lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you see how my work is connected to when you choose you? Because this is what my mission is to teach people how to choose themselves. And when you choose you, there is no other way. It's a law of the universe. You choose you choose the universe within you. And there is no way that the universe is not going to support you.
Yeah.
You are going to get through a journey where you get an answer from somewhere. You get a friend who is willing to go for a walk.
Yeah.
You get less resistance on the way. You get food producer who does. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you set the intention, you choose you commit to you, and that you is the most perfect and good, the best thing what you could do, because it's connected to the infinite source. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's staying connected is our part. It's not happening like magic. But the commitment, as I said, it's much easier when you know that you are doing the right thing. And also, I think is when things get hard or you slip out of it's much easier to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have that connection with yourself. Yeah.
Because you know how good was when you were there, and the brain has a reference and becomes the familiar. So it's,
Yeah.
I think it's
I'll finish up talking about myself, but
no.
Thank you, because you kept me accountable. It wasn't that I'd come in and I'd meet you and then come back to you 1 or 2 months later and give you an update. You stayed on top of me and kept me accountable all through the process.
Yeah,
so thank you for that.
Yeah, sometimes it's the hardest part for me as a coach.
Of course,
because it takes a process of knowing the person who you are developing a relationship, building a relationship, I wanted to say, and it's the hardest part to know when too much is too much for the person. And I'm guilty of pushing too much as well. So I learned the lesson, but I did lose a client because I pushed too much and the person wasn't ready. So the message what I heard was, yes, I'm ready. But when I gave feedback, the person wasn't ready. So I had to learn how not to put pressure on people, leave them to make the decision, because has stronger effect when it comes from themselves. And
you're waiting for them to have that click moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A click is connected with how frustrated you become. How big is the pain?
True. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. So when I heard myself saying how much I hated my body, that was the big click moment for me, as I had said. But I'm delighted that the scales are where I had last seen them back in 2016. But for me, what's more important is I now love my body. I appreciate my body. I'm grateful for my body. I enjoy being healthy, or certainly healthier.
So,
I enjoy just eating good food and having that wisdom, knowing what's bad, what's good, allowing myself to have treat, which could be food, or a treat could be like a walk on a Sunday morning.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's that awareness and connectedness.
Yeah. So we said, what are the markers? So the scale is one.
Yeah.
Then the second one is the waistline. And then if you can afford, or if you have access to a scale what gives you the information about the visceral fat and the body mass, the lean mass and the fat, that's another. It's probably the most accurate. And also how you feel, how you stand up and what you like, what you see in the mirror, how your skin feels, how you are, like everything. Like the skin is glowing, you feel different. You feel like your sessions in gym are more like easier and you perform better. So you know about yourself.
Yeah.
You start connecting to yourself.
Yeah, because like I had said to you one time, I'm so frustrated, like I'm not going down any more on the scales. And you're like, yeah, but are you measuring your waist? How are you doing the gym? And I said, well, I'm actually lifting heavier than I have in a long time. You're like, well, there you go. And then I started measuring, biceps, triceps. And it's not that there's a vanity thing, but it's just like the body is changing in different ways. So if you're just focusing on the scale, you don't realize, well, I've more power in me, or maybe my bicep has gotten a bit bigger or something.
So I heard from 2 clients this week. One was the sleep. I didn't think that the sleep is connected with what I'm eating. And after first month, she said, I'm unbelievably rested after that. It's such a huge difference. And we didn't work on sleep. We just worked on the diet. And then the second was, this lady was losing weight, very happy, whatever. And then January was extremely busy. And she stuck to the diet, probably 80%. But then she was so happy that she went to the gym and she was actually doing an exercise what she could never did before. It was And she said, oh my God, doesn't matter the scale. The fact that I could bend in that way was so off. Oh my God, I was chuffed with myself. That was exactly the word. I said, yeah, exactly. So,
and even just in terms of how much coaching helps, there's certain days where I have to do trips to Dublin, which is, maybe 2.5 hour drive from where I'm based. And I could be there for 12 hours and then I have a 2.5 hour drive back home again. And that's excluding traffic. Sometimes it could be a 4 hour drive home, which was last month. So my days could be nearly up to, between 18 to 20 hours, worst case scenario. And I'm absolutely exhausted the next couple of days. I'm a write-off. And you were saying, okay, look, this is a red flag day. So you need to have these little kind of meal plans and this form of hydration and so on. And when I implemented that, I wasn't as exhausted then afterwards because my body was going through, a tough 24-hour period. So I knew in advance it was coming up. So I was then eating what I needed to eat, drink what I needed to drink and so on. And just having that guidance and support because we're all different. We all have different 7 days a week and different stresses. And, we could be living with certain people who want to eat certain foods and you don't want to create too much friction in the household, but it's just getting all those things accommodated that works best for you.
Yeah, the big thing what I am talking I hear myself in the last probably a week or so with everyone is anticipation. So when you anticipate your body's needs, but that it's not the first step.
Yeah.
It's a bit of awareness and work to be done. And then you get to a stage where you know what the body needs and you prioritize that. That's anticipation. And that's where what are your flawless, like the flaws, and how important it is to not to live until you are in the middle of crisis, because it's too late. Like when I say crisis, I say when you're too hungry, when you are allowing yourself to be too low, because it's so hard to pick yourself when you are in the middle of down and all of that. But if you know that you are prone to anticipate that need, because the body loves that. Yeah, absolutely. Loves certainty. So you give the body certainty that, okay, I'm going to take care of you. And your body said, yeah, perfect, I'm okay.
Can we talk about Ozempic?
Yes, not much, but we can.
It's just...
I will tell you my point of view anyway.
Yeah, for me, I don't think there's anything in life that is a quick fix. There is no one pill that solves everything. And there's a massive rise of Ozempic, and there's other similar drugs that kind of reduce people's hunger, adjust their insulin levels, and they discover that they're losing weight. And Ozempic is tied into loads of different things. There's one type of Ozempic for diabetes, there's another one for weight loss and so on. And I'm sure they will expand into other areas to help people who have maybe addictions or diseases and so on, to control the pangs and needs for that. Thankfully, I've been on a journey where I haven't had to resort to taking Ozempic, and that I've been able to do it through food and exercise and self-awareness and so on. And there are people who are diagnosed as obese and that they have it as a disease, and that no matter what they do, that something like Ozempic is the only thing that will work for them. And I think what people don't realize is that if you are taking Ozempic for weight loss, you need to stay on it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's one thing. But the second thing is, you are talking about majority of people who are getting on Ozempic or any other GLP-1.
GLP activator is something that...
GLP-1 activator, that's the way how Ozempic works. So activates that hormone, what controls the sensation of being full. Okay. So the problem is that usually those people are mid-40s or 40 plus. I don't have any example of someone younger than that. Usually it's midlife.
Yeah.
After 40s, we start losing muscle mass, and it's the biggest challenge. What Ozempic does, or all these tablets, you are losing weight, definitely, but you are losing the most precious part, the lean body mass, what you need the most. So if the medication doesn't have it's like the antibiotic, okay? It can't be the same.
Yeah.
So kills the bad and the good.
Yeah.
So you lose weight, but you lose both.
Yeah.
And then you will have sarcopenia, and
What's
sarcopenia is muscle loss.
Okay.
And that's when you have fractures, and in elderly
If you have
people.
a fall, you break a bone and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And osteopenia and osteoporosis, and that's the loss in the bone density and mass and all of that. So you gain something and you lose on the other side. It's like with all the pharmaceutical.
Yeah, so I know someone taking Ozempic, and like their markers for the diabetes has gone down drastically, and they went down it because that they were told that unless you do something drastic about your weight,
and that's where I agree. Okay, so it has its effect, but in long term, what benefit you have? And also, I saw people doing a metabolic diet. Staying committed, having a coach, even a doctor coach, even better than having only a coach, so someone who is specialized in this. And it's big. I don't know if there is in Ireland. I know for sure it's Germany, even Romania. And I saw people losing 60 kg.
Wow.
Not with Ozempic. Okay? And when you start losing it, I know if there would be a way to start with Ozempic and then come off without no side effects and then keep you going. But I don't think there is enough evidence and usage to see what happens when you stop.
No, I think you just kind of start going back again to square one.
So
that's why they're labeling obesity as a disease, and they're saying it's the same as alcoholism or something like that, or you need the support, you need the drug or whatever. But I'm not in any ways have a medical background, but I have a personal opinion that I think some people are curious to go on Ozempic as a first option rather than as a second option. I think if people actually start, if they have the chance and the opportunity to start exploring, what is causing the weight first? Is it psychological?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than just saying, okay, I'm going to inject myself every week.
From working with people, that's not easy.
Yeah.
It takes someone's awareness and willingness to start exploring, because you can open a can of worms when you talk to someone. And I was working with someone, and 3 months nothing worked. And in the end, she said, I'm going on Ozempic. And I said, okay, it's your choice. But was no willingness to go in emotional, was so close. Like the person was, don't touch that. And I got a message. So that's about the weight. It's not only kg on a scale. It's more than that. It's what weight we put on. And the body hangs on. I have my theory. So body hangs on that weight because something else is going on there.
Yeah.
We are too connected. It's not only the fat cells what are staying there. Is it? It's only a chemical process there, or it's more than that. It's an emotional and energy. And if Ozempic starts you, and then you can come off, and that will be ideal. But I don't think that's possible anyway.
Yeah. So I just think, people should just open as many opportunities and doors for themselves rather than just seeing something as the only way to go, because the studies that are out there at the moment seems to be that if you start Ozempic, for it to work effectively, it's just something that you'll have to be on for the rest of your life. And I'd listened to an amazing podcast with Oprah Winfrey on her show where they were saying this. So that's kind of where I'm getting my information from, where she had an expert on. And I'm just saying that for the last, I'd say maybe 13 years, have struggled. And I was very much toying with the idea of going on Ozempic because I thought it was the only choice left. But then when I gave myself the opportunity to explore further and
yeah.
work with yourself. The change that it has had for me, the awareness, what I've learned so much more about myself, about,
People need to understand that, yes, it takes commitment, but you are not committed to a coach. You are not committed to a doctor. You are not. You are committed to yourself.
Yeah.
And as I said, trust that the universe will make it easier. The universe is not going to make it harder for you. Trust me. It's going to, you will find a way, and that's about being faithful in yourself.
Yeah.
Fine, the last resort. Yeah.
And it is that thing as well, don't be afraid to ask for help. And
Totally. Yeah.
I want to talk about your journey.
Okay.
So since we last spoke in July, so again, if anyone wants to listen to the episode, it's episode 95, and we find out everything about Smaranda and how she got here to Ireland and how she has, with only a few quid in her pocket, and how she has just grown and run her own business now and so on. But even in the last year, things just seem to be getting bigger and better for you. I want people as well, if they are going through difficulties or anything at the moment, or they're thinking of starting up their own business or something like that, or if you're in financial difficulty even, there's hope.
Yeah, that's my message. My message is that if you are seen and heard and valued, you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you can move mountains. When you are not safe, you are afraid. And that's when you are in fight and flight and freeze, and you see nothing in front of you. So the best gift what I can give back to the universe is to help people to feel seen and heard and valued. And that makes them to feel safe. So that's what I'm trying to do with the work, and then with the book, and also, the podcast. So my motivation for the podcast, that was very interesting.
So tell people why you started off doing a podcast.
So I came on your podcast, I think first time when I was doing a live podcast, like a sitting down with someone. It was a Zoom previously with few people. And I felt that I have a story. And it was, I was starting to write the book in July. But it was, okay, I think I would like to have people, to show people to the world, because as a coach, you see in people much more than they see in themselves. And I felt like that's my gift, to shine a light on people's lives. So I said, okay, the studio is here. It's brilliant. It's close to me. So let's do it. And you were the one who pushed when I was like the same. I'm very grateful for what. It's not the push, it's the support. And you have as I said to you when I coached you, you have that gentleness, kindness and support. And the fact that you walked this journey yourself and you went through, so you know the struggle, you know what it means to stay there and interview someone, or you know what it means to stay here and be the interviewee. And to have everything so handy and so easy was made things so easier for me. Yeah. And then, as I said, when you are on the flow, do you remember in September when I had 12 interviews in 1 week and I had zero resistance?
Yeah.
I didn't think a second of anything. I just saw a few people that were potential guests, and I rang them and they were all delighted. Yeah. Everyone would have said August is not a great month for anything because people are in holidays. Really? I didn't have any of that. Everything was like flying. And since then we are. That was the podcast. Yeah.
So your podcast is When You Choose You.
Yes.
And you have like the most amazing guests on your podcast, and they're just wonderful personalities you can get. What I love about the guests on your show as well, like they're all talking about different things that they might do in terms of business or hobbies. That's a lot of it built around self-awareness and well-being, and this warmth I find that comes from them. You can watch the videos on your YouTube channel, or you can listen to the podcasts online. They're just really good souls who want to help people. And it's a lovely
I think
space.
that comes from I choose my guests as a reflection of me. I think. I never go for just because they are popular or something. That's not appealing for me.
Yeah.
It's more like I see something special in someone and I want that person to get seen and heard. And we had guests for all sorts, from politicians to my partner, and I'm thinking how large was the spectrum.
It is. Even
but
like
every single one of them was special.
Absolutely. And they're short enough as well. They're usually within an hour, so you can easily listen to them on a journey, and you will definitely get something from them. I wanted to bring you on today because I wanted to share and celebrate the journey that you have brought me on, because it's much more than numbers on a scale. It's the click, it's the awareness, it's loving life and body and appreciation and all that I spoke about earlier. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. You opened for me so many doors.
My pleasure. And I just want to say as well that Smaranda's book, When You Choose You, is going to be officially launched later this year, and you can pre-register for the book by heading over to your website, which is authentichealth.ie. Brilliant. So continued success.
Thank
well
you
done
so
with everything
much.
you've achieved between your new premises, your new podcast, releasing a book this year, helping so many people. So I'm so happy for you. Well done.
Thank you so much.
This is a GK Media podcast.